The Barrel House is brought to you by you, the listener, and those of you who have chosen to support the show over at patreon.com/barrelhouse, especially our Whiskey Legend tier patrons, Greg, Katie, Lauren, and Joe. Without you, the show wouldn't be possible. Hello, and welcome to the Barrel House. Hello and welcome back to the Barrel House. I am your host, as always, Joe. How's everybody doing today? Not gonna lie, this is gonna be an interesting one. My basement smells of poo, so my nosing might not be the most accurate. Hey, Kara, how's it going? Early. You're almost never here when it starts. You usually come in like midway. How you doing? Nothing like Elijah Craig barrel proof to blow the poo out of your nose. I am very, very excited for tonight's episode or stream. Are these episodes? Do you call these episodes? I don't know. Alright, that should be better. I'm good. I am good. I could probably turn the bar cam off since I'm not using that yet. I had some slight emergency plumbing today. So I've been better, but I'm not bad. I could be worse. Although everything just smells like feces right now, so that's not the best. That could be better for sure, but I'll take everything's fixed. I'll take it for now. At least it was an easy fix. It was just kind of messy, but it was easy. So tonight's episode's a selfish one. I hope you guys like it, but also I'm doing this one for me. I acquired a few. So we all know I really like smoky, extra peated, just aggressive Islay Scotches. We know that's where I land. I like that smoke. I like that peat. I like those phenolic, like iodine-y, rubbery notes. I know that all sounds gross to some people, but it's where my heart is. Unfortunately, it's hard to find a good daily Islay. You know, I love Ardbeg, but even my cheapest Ardbeg is $60 a bottle, so I'm not drinking that super often. I mean, I kind of am, but I don't want to be drinking that super often because I don't want to spend that much money on like hey, I'm going to watch a movie and I just want to have a drink with my movie whiskeys, right? Those are great to experience, but they're not a great one to just, I mean, they are great for it, but they're expensive to just dump in a glass and hang out, right? They deserve more attention. So I picked up, I have 4, that's 8. I have 4 smoky Islay Scotches, all of which under 40. Most of them actually in the like $30 to $32 range. A couple I already had here, a couple are new. And I'm gonna crack them open and see if I can find myself a new budget, because $30 is still not exactly budget. It's not like a $17 bottle or anything, but I'm gonna see if I can find myself something in that like $30 range where I don't have to feel guilty about not paying attention. Like, what if, you know, I as good as they are, I feel guilty making a smoky cokey or a smoky old fashioned with Ardbeg, right? That's a really good whiskey that I am now dumping Coke or simple syrup and bitters and stuff into. So I've got myself a plan to find an Islay whiskey that I can just do whatever I want with and never feel guilty. So I will show you the bottles. I even made a bottle cam that I forgot to turn off and left up. So here's bottle cam. And I've got Scarabus. I'm gonna say Scarabus. This is a Islay single malt. This is sourced. I've read maybe Islay or maybe Lagavulin, but I haven't. I'd also read maybe Ardbeg, but I doubt it's Ardbeg. I've got this one. I'm hoping is my favorite because of the name. This is Smokey Joe, and this is a blended malt Islay. Hopefully it's fantastic. I really am just shooting for whichever one of these is the smokiest. Basically, this is a Total Wine brand, I believe. This one, this is Shieldaig Islay Finest Old. This is also the lowest alcohol percentage of the bunch. Bottle cam, right? The bottle cam is pretty sweet, right? Big fan of bottle cam. I'm glad you like it. I was hoping it would go over well. And then I've got this last one here. This one I've had a bunch of. I really like this one. This is my current I don't feel guilty whatever I do with it bottle, but it's becoming hard to find around here. Not that it's like limited production or anything, but I think distribution around here, whatever reason, it's not getting picked up. And this is Compass Box Great King Street Glasgow blend. So I'm hoping to replace this with something that I can get easier, more often, and not feel guilty about. That is a really good one, though. And like I said, all of these, I believe, none of these were over 35. I believe Smokey Joe was the most expensive by $1. It was like $34 for Smokey Joe. I probably even have these kind of facing out right here, outside of the logo. That only moderately infringes on my personal space. That's not bad. And then I can bottle cam this one. I'll start with this one. So I believe we had 34, 32, and 31. This is usually around 33. So let's see what we got. Let's dig. I'm gonna finish this Elijah Craig barrel proof, and we're gonna dig into it and see how it all looks. So good. It's very, very good. Hold on, I have an adjustment to make. Okay, adjustment made. All right, so I'm going to do four separate glasses here. I don't want to mix and match. I want to be as accurate as possible, even though the condition of my basement is definitely going to affect my senses. I can't tell if my basement still stinks or if my nose is just ruined from smelling poo all day. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. Whether it's the air or my nose, either way, it's not the most conducive for accuracy, but hey, we make do with what we've got, right? All right, so we're gonna start with this. I'm gonna try to leave a little in each glass as I go. I think I'm gonna make an on-the-fly adjustment to bottle cam. This might be a terrible idea. So I think bottle cam would be better square, right? Maybe. maybe not. You know what? I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to break it. I'm gonna have a square bottle can for next time. Knowing me, I'll break this and have to restart the stream, so we're gonna leave it alone. You know what? No, we'll... I got the air purifier running. I should get some poopery. I got the air purifier running down here. I turned it down a little for the stream so you wouldn't have to listen to it, but I had it going all day and ran some fans and cleaned a bunch. So it actually smells a little bit like what's that mop, spray mop, whatever, the mop, the little mop that has the fluid. It smells like cleaner and poo a little bit. But in good Islay fashion, this is coming through. I can smell, I get like the phenolic notes, smoke, and this is Islay blended with Speyside. So yes, wet jet. Yep, that's absolutely it, Vader's girl. Wet jet. Ooh, I just splashed whiskey on my face by aggressively nosing it. So this is phenolic. You get the smoke. You get some of that like butterscotchiness from the Speyside stuff. I can almost smell. It's very mild. This is a very mild Islay, but you expect that out of a cheap blend. I'm expecting all of them to be mild like this, but we'll see. Yeah, whiskey and poo is the best pairing, Vader's girl. So yeah, that's very gentle. It's a little sweet. It's an ashy smokiness, not so much a earthy smokiness. Less meat and brine, more ash and campfire kind of smoke. Let's move on to Smokey Joe. I really hope Smokey Joe is good. Because for obvious reasons, I am partial to the name. I prefer, so Vader's girl asks if I like the ash better. I actually prefer the rich meaty smoke, which is what you get out of Ardbeg. It's less brine and it's way more proteiny, and it's rich in a way. It reminds me of, I always describe the smoke in Ardbeg like when you get like a smoked brisket and you have that like super dense smoke penetrated ring that's like pink around the outside edge of the meat. That's what Ardbeg smoke comes across as to me, and I really like that a lot. So this is 43. We're gonna add this to this side over here. Over here. And this one's 40, I believe. Oh, this is 46. Okay, so the Shieldaig is the lowest proof. Ooh. I'm gonna have to cut the rest of that foil off because it's sharp. I'm gonna step over a little bit so that I can achieve this better, even though I'm now kind of off center to my things. All right, so the smoke is lighter on the nose in this one than it was on the nose anyway, on the Great King Street. And is Smokey Joe. This is the other blend. And the last two are both single malts. This one has. Oh, you're right. Smokey Joe should be on the on the bottle cam. What am I doing? Thank you, Kara. Or do you do you prefer I call you your real name or your screen name on YouTube? I always feel weird using your real name because I don't want to like give your personal information away. This has that like blend, like that blended malt kind of weird funk that I'm not super fond of. I'm hoping the smoke comes through on the palate enough to really make good on that, overcome that. I'm actually gonna swap these so that they stay in the order the glasses are. Hey Randy, what's going on? I gotta tell you, I'm a little bummed. This is still good, like I'm still gonna drink that, but I'm sad that the one with my name on it isn't as good. It's not as good as the Compass Box. So far, Compass Box still reigns supreme. Let me get back into it a little bit. This has like Johnny Walker level smoke. It's very subtle. Probably good for mixing. I don't know that I would spend a lot of time drinking it straight. I probably will. Who am I kidding? It's a little bit of a bummer. This, where's the little tab? So those are the two blends, and these last two are both single malts. Now, I haven't had either one. I've heard really good things about this one. I'm leaving it last for a reason. I'm really hoping this, because this one is actually the same price as this, and it seems to be really available. So if this one can take it, I am gonna be pumped. But these are both cheap. They're both single malts, so odds are they're going to be a little bit more flavor dense, I guess is the way I want to say that. So bottle cam before Cat yells at me. All right, this one smells smoky, but it does have that same, like the malt seems stronger than the smoke. The cereally graininess of the malt. It's better than Smokey Joe, but not by much. I think the lower proof affects this one. I'm gonna go back through these after they're all poured and really compare them to make sure I'm not just getting acclimated as I go. But right off the bat, does have a nice like fruity layer. Sorry, I'm making mouth noises. I'm sure the whole internet loves my mouth noises. Me me rinse a little. All right. I'll go with it, Randy. I'll keep it oblong. I'm glad people like the bottle can. I wasn't sure if it would go over well. I was hoping it would. If it was just a little smokier, it'd be really, really good. I think they messed up proofing it down to 40. I think that's where they really screwed up. I think at like 45, like 45 would be really good. Which I think this one's like 46. 46. And I did no research on any of the sourcing for any of these bottles. I didn't want to have any other than what I've just kind of come across organically online before deciding to do this. I didn't want to have any preconceived notions of which ones I was going to like more. I don't want to know that one of these bottles came from a distillery I really likes or any of that. So I just wanted unbiased, unfettered opinion here. Now, right away, well, it might be the lighting. It's not as drastic as I thought initially, but this one is light comparatively. It's about the same as the Compass box. And it's a single malt, which tells me there's no added color, which I like. A lot of these, especially the cheaper ones like this, I am pretty sure, I am confident that has coloring in it. I bet you it's chill filtered too. Yeah, there is no nothing on here that says non-chill filtered or natural color. This one might be chill filtered. It doesn't say anything here either. Nope, no artificial color or chill filtering. So this one is... Oh, man. Bad at this. My own thing and I'm bad at it. This is the Scarabus. On the nose, I'm inclined to believe this is Kalila. Ooh. Man. That's really good. That is excellent. For 30 bucks, that's shockingly good. The buzz about town, the internet actually, is not wrong. All right, so I'm gonna do typical, even though they're not blind, I'm in my typical blind style. I'm gonna go left to right to left and compare. And now that I'm like equally acclimated to everything, I'm just gonna see what they feel like, what they think. Man, cereally funk from the malt on this one is so strong. It's very rare in a smoked whiskey that the smoke isn't the strongest part of the nose. No, it is nice. All these smoky whiskeys are totally overpowering the smell of shit in this basement. So this is actually pretty good. This is a good way to clear the nose out. I think if I move these back, hold on, bottle cam experiment. Can I get check this out? This is riveting, I'm sure, right? Boom. Bottle cam. Look at that. Boom. Now I can, now I have some room. So, the Compass Box is both sweeter and smokier than the Smokey Joe. I do love to tweak. I'm gonna try to stage these front to back in this tiny little space in order of liking. The really disappointing thing on this Shieldaig is it feels like there's a bunch of potential on it. And I mean, I know watering it down to 40 is how they got it so cheap, because I believe it is, I mean, all of these are less than 35 bucks, right? That's crazy cheap for an Islay. My cheapest Islay not on the board right here. Let's see. Peat Monster is a blend. That's 55. I don't think it goes any cheaper than that for an Islay. No, not that I have here. It's really hard to find an Islay. I mean, Scotch, you got to age. Like, most single malt Scotch has got to be aged 8+ years before it's worth much, because the climate over there doesn't let it. I mean, you can age a bourbon 3 years and it's relatively dark and it's got a fair amount of flavor. Scotch doesn't even have color in 3 years. It's, the climate is not conducive to that, so it costs more. I'm gonna guess, based on the color and taste of this Scarabus, that it is, because this is sourced, so I'm gonna guess this is sourced from Kalila, and it's just a young, very young Kalila, which is probably why it's really smoky, but a little flat. But it's a little flat, but we're talking 30 bucks. Like, I can deal with a little flat for 30 bucks. This really has potential. In all honesty, the Smokey Joe, I think, has a lot of potential too. I just think it would have to be, I mean, it's 46% as it is. I don't, it'd have to be over 50 or 55%, I think, to really hit where it's gonna shine, and there's just no way for what this bottle is priced they're gonna sell a 55% alcohol Scotch. It is funny how dramatically different these are. Yeah, across the board. The Smokey Joe has, or the Smokey Joe, the Shieldaig has more complexity. It really lacks in intensity. You know, it's funny. I was convinced this was Kalila, but now going back through it smells more Lagavulin. I'm gonna side jag. This is not a fair comparison, by the way. I'm pouring a 16-year-old Lagavulin and a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society sourced cask strength single barrel Kalila. The Lagahulin's an $80 bottle, and the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottle is a $120 bottle. So, but I'm not looking to compare them quality-wise. I'm just trying to see if I can identify clear winner, by the way. The Scarabus is the clear winner of the budget Islay, but now I'm just oh, is the oh my god, what's oh my god? Oh, you wanna hold on? I'm gonna be right back, Randy. I'm gonna show you a few race weekends here. Hold on. This is Octomore. Those of you who have been through more than one of these streams know this is probably my favorite bottle that I've ever had. This is the Octomore, cover my face here, 11.1. This is a cask strength 5-year Islay Scotch. It's 60%, just shy of 60% alcohol. This is the most heavily peated whiskey, one of the most heavily peated. Octomore makes the most heavily peated. Their releases come up and down a little bit. This is one of their higher release peat level whiskeys. To give you an example, when I talk about Lagavulin or these Ardbegs, because of the intensity of the smoke. If any of you guys saw last week's stream when I handed some of these to Greg, or not last week, but the last stream, and he coughed up the smoke because he couldn't handle it. Those measure about 50 phenolic parts per million, and they are smoky, very smoky, intense smoky. This is 139.6 phenolic parts per million. It's basically like eating a bonfire, but I absolutely love it. This is a $300 bottle. MSRP. I was lucky to not spend $300 on it. Thank God for that. But I drink it very sparingly because I don't want to have to buy it for $300, and sure, the next bottle I get won't be cheap, won't be discounted. I mean, I've had this for a while, and I mean, you can't see into this bottle, but it is 95% full still. I'm very gentle with drinking that. I don't want it to be gone. I never want to be out of it. But luckily, I have the support of the fine folks over at patreon.com/barrelhouse helping me buy more whiskey to enjoy for the show. So if I really need another bottle, I can save up a little bit from the Patreon and add more to the collection. That's going to be a ways off, though. That bottle's going to last me like 5 years. At least. Honestly, the gear is more expensive than the whiskey. Like, getting good gear, good mics, good video, audio processing, all that stuff, you can get a lot of whiskey for what that stuff costs. Luckily for me, I use it for the stream, I use it for the podcast and for the movie podcast, so it's very multi-use, and I bring a little bit of money in to justify it. It's an investment. Man. It's hard when I compare it to the Kalila, which, like I said, is higher proof, single barrel, limited release, expensive, right? I find similarities and I go, that's definitely Kalila. Like, the smoke is in a similar direction. Kalila, to me, has the same direction of smoke that the Octomore has. It's just way less intense, where it's almost like a blue cheese. It's like meat. It's very savory, but not quite meat. But there's a brine to this Kalila that this doesn't have. When I compare it to the Lagavulin, the fruitiness and the malt notes are closer, and the smoke's a little off. And it's tough because this is $30, right? It's similar in proof to the Lagavulin, way off on the Kalila, but it's definitely young. I mean, this Lagavulin is 16 years. That's going to make a big difference in the flavor from 3 to 5 tops, probably 3 on the Scarabus. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a... Oh, there you go. The Kalila, same thing. This Kalila is cask strength, so it's way off on proof, and it's 9 years. So there's going to be a big change in the properties of the whiskey in that time, so it's hard to pinpoint. I am leaning a little bit towards Lagavulin on the nose, but Kalila sources a lot more often than Lagavulin does. It's not common for Lagavulin, that I know of, for Lagavulin to source. But That's pretty close. I mean, the proof obviously way higher on this. It's definitely more mature. The flavors are more subtle, way more way more complex. It unfolds a lot more. There's way more finish. There's definitely more like hints of fruit and stuff. This is where very much so like three notes. But it's close. Lagavulin is way more balanced and way fruitier. I think it's Kalila. I think I'm gonna stick with my original guess that it's Kalila. I wish they would tell you. You know, that's like a lot of sourced American whiskeys, most sourced American whiskeys, you can kind of either they tell you or you can guess based on, or you make a really good educated guess and be pretty accurate based on where it says it was distilled, because it has to say distilled in on the back. With these Islas, there's a, like, Islay is too big of a, all of them are from Islay, right? They're not, it's not like seeing a bourbon that says distilled in Indiana, bottled in Kentucky, where I can tell you for sure that it is 99% that it's MGP, because MGP is in Indiana and they make a shitload of whiskey that and source almost all of it. With this, all these are from Islay, so there's no way to like hone in other than on your senses, which again, mine not the best tonight. I am really happy with that. That's a fantastic bottle for sub $35. In fact, that's probably going to get pushed up towards the front of the line for an episode. I have 2 recorded already, but I might sneak it in after the next one. I think the finish is the weakest part. The rest of it's really solid, but especially if you're gonna be making old fashions or smoky cokies or whatever with them, the finish is that important. It's really, really easy. I could like swish that thing, like really swish it. I'm gonna focus on these 2 really good ones for right now, and I'll come back to the cheap ones, pour them all together or something at the end of the night. I'm really excited about this. This is like, this might be one that I like keep 2 here, always in rotation, finish one, open a second one, order or buy a replacement. You know, a lot of these are either too expensive to drink regularly or too high proof to drink when it's hot out, or the kind of thing I gotta be in the mood for, like, you know, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof I started the stream with, just warming my palate up, whatever. I love that. But when it's 95 degrees out, I'm not drinking a 65% alcohol whiskey. It's not gonna happen. Peerless is really good, but I gotta be in the mood for it because it's kind of sweet and a little funky, and maybe I just don't want that, you know? Ardbegs are always delicious. but I don't want to drink a $60 bottle every time I want a whiskey, right? Because I mean, there's a lot of whiskeys down here that are tough to justify going through a bottle on. Especially like you got company over and they're not really whiskey people, but they know you're a whiskey person and they want to have some whiskey, and you don't want to pour a 60% alcohol full on campfire scotch that's super expensive that they're just not gonna enjoy, right? You're just throwing that money away. So you want to have something down your lane, because they're gonna want to ask what they always ask, what I like. Hey, give me one of your favorites. Give me something that you drink a lot. Boom, $30. If they hate it, they could dump it down the drain, and it's not the end of the world. You dump this down the drain, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. You dump some of that down the drain. I will square up and we will fight. And that is good. I have this bottle here also. This is the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society Islay Festival special release bottle. It's not open yet. And this one, cover my face, focus, there we go. This one is Smoky Maritime Hit. This is a super limited run from Scotch Malt Whiskey Society that is in the barrel house courtesy of my fine mother, who decided to sponsor an episode with a bottle. So I will be doing an episode of that. I'm gonna record a first sip of this weekend, and that'll go up on Patreon this week. And then a full episode for this will be in the next 3 or 4 episodes. So look out for that. I'm excited about this. This is I've heard some real interesting things. The tasting notes they give for this thing are like iodine, espresso, campfire, so like iodine, espresso, campfire, and seawater. Which to some of you may sound horrible. To me, it sounds like I'm going to have to keep myself measured with that bottle. Lagavulin is really good. This is the 16, not the Offerman. That Offerman Guinness cask finish is very interesting, but it's not straight Lagavulin. It's not down that lane. It's very different. It's great, but it's different. Lagavulin is really good. It is the most. It's like definitely, like I said during the episode, it's the most balanced of the like Smoky Islas, but it is also very tame. It's very like easy. Like any of the Ardbegs or this Laphroaig, it's gonna punch you in the mouth way harder, which is a good thing. That's a good thing for whiskey. The punch in the mouth. That's what I want. I know my music selection isn't the favorite of everybody who watches this, but I gotta tell you, this royalty-free music service I got, I am in love. I'm digging these songs, especially, where is this one? This one here? Hold on, I'm gonna change the song. This one slaps, as they say. If y'all haven't checked it out yet, new episode came out Wednesday for the normies, last Monday for the patrons. It was Old Forester 1920. That is like one of my favorite go-to keep in stock kind of higher proof bourbons. It's a prohibition style, hence the 1920. Barrel strength-esque kind of bourbon. They shot for 115 proof, which they thought would be around the barrel proof of the 1920s based on the laws and practices of the time. It's really good. I like it a lot. It's just one of my go-tos. So that episode is out now. Check it out, download it, whatever. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know. It is good to have background noise. I'm using a service that's like $10 a month, but you get a library of like, I think it's like 60 or 80,000 songs that you can use as much as you want on the podcast, on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever you want to be. You just give them your channel information, and they waitlist you. And it's really great. It's nice because I can change up whatever my mood is. I can throw this stuff on this week, or grab some like jazz or rock or whatever I really want, some like synthwave, whatever I want, put it in for the background music of the episode. Or when I first started the show, some like, if you go back to the early episodes, I was putting a different song in every episode that kind of matched thematically with the whiskey, and I stopped because I did not find the service at that time. I hadn't found the service at that time, and I was going through Pond 5, which is like a buy a license site, and it was costing like $15-ish an episode, sometimes as much as 30, to get a song that matched the whiskey. And then you put the credit in the show notes, you put the license in the show notes just like they tell you to, and every time I would get a DMCA takedown. I'd have to submit the license even though it was already properly credited in the show notes, and then get the DMCA taken away. And it became such a hassle that I decided I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Then I found this service, and this service is great. All that went away. I just signed up, did the thing. I don't have to credit anything. I just whitelisted my channels, and it just goes away. And it's really great. There's so much variety. You can really just pick whatever you feel like for the background. It's tops. I'm a big fan. And I grabbed a coupon code from another podcast when I signed up, so I got like 3 months free. So totally worth it for free. But even at $10 a month for the variety you get, it's, considering I do 2 live streams, 2 podcasts every month, sometimes 3, and then a little tiny peek behind the curtain, there is a 3rd episode a month in the works. Not anytime immediately. That is coming. For that much variety, for all those things, totally worth it. I mean, I pay more than that for hosting fees and like the website and stuff, which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, brand new website, all new, top to bottom, way better than the old site for barrelhousepodcast.com. It's like actually almost nice. It's like almost a nice website now. It is good though. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. It's Very, very good. Since it's out, right? Since it's already out, should probably pour a little bit, just a little bit of the Octomore, right? I mean, I took it out. I put it on the bar, right? You can't put it on the bar and then put it back on the shelf without... Right? Be crazy. And I'm gonna A-B it with this $40 whiskey, so that looks like I'm doing something. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if you can see that. The color is very similar. You can see the age, probably not terribly far off. Yeah, when the bottle is almost empty, that theory will definitely change. There is a dramatic difference in the nose on these. I can't even smell this one. This is the one you sponsored, Mom. It's still unopened. I haven't opened it because I have to do an episode of the first sip with it, and I don't want to lie and pretend it's my first sip when it's not yet. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna film that this weekend, so you will know exactly what I think of the bottle you sponsored this weekend. This bottle... Oh no, I'm not cheating, don't worry. So what I'll say is, I went cheap, went Scarabus, Octomore, Scarabus. The smoke feels like it's in the same direction. It's obviously way lighter on the Scarabus. I mean, obviously, but it's the same funky, cheesy kind of smoke. So I am leaning Kalila. The Octomore, much higher proof. Much more intense. Back to the Scarabus, tastes like water. Yeah, this is so intense. I actually can't. I get a hint of flavor. No smoke. I can't taste the smoke on this anymore. I get a little fruit, a little vanilla on this now, but a little. Other than that, basically water. It's basically turned to water compared to the Octomore, which makes sense because it's like way higher proof and also dramatically smokier. Oh, God, this is good. I do have this this mission to convert everyone I know to enjoying a good smoky scotch. It's working too, by the way. Everyone who I have gotten in this bar and done tastings with has referred back to me later and been like, so I bought a bottle of Peat Monster, or I bought a bottle of Ardbeg. I think you may have been right. Takes them a bit. They all end up there. They all end up there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like a good rye. I like a good bourbon. I like it all. It's all good. But there's nothing quite like a good, heavily peated scotch. I think I'm gonna do this too, by the way. I'm gonna make a add a dash more of this because there wasn't much left in that cup. The ultimate budget blend. I think the thing with the peated scotches is that once you acclimate a little bit to them, they offer such a ride. Like they all have the same thing where you get hit with smoke in the front. Even though like the weaker ones get this blast of smoke, and then as you enjoy it over time, fourth, your fifth, your sixth sip back, that smoke, you acclimate to it and you start to find, you know, a floral note or a honey note or a fruit note, and then you keep going back to it and you start to find vanillas or cinnamon, whatever happens, whatever whiskey you're drinking happens to have, and it unfolds really slowly over time because they're so densely flavored. And I just love that ride. I love being able to go on that ride every time I have one. Whereas like with a bourbon, they're delicious, but typically they're relatively close first sip to last sip. There's not a lot of real heavy intensity, so there's not a ton of over time development. It's a decent blend. The Scarabus is better by itself, but I don't want to waste them. I already poured them, right? I'll tell you, I'm still looking for like the smoked scotch that falls in like the Old Tom price range. Where are ya? Where's Tommy boy? See, this is the problem with having so much whiskey. There he is. Here he is. The Old Tom Horan. This is a serviceable Irish whiskey that was like $18. It's low proof. It's not good, but it's got like any mixed drink that calls for Jameson, you could probably use this in just fine. It's got like the metallic vanilla that Jameson has and the little bit of wood that Jameson has. Not as much as Jameson, but a little bit of wood, and it's got the like shortbread and jam notes that Jameson has. It's way cheaper. It's not as good. It's not as good as Jameson, but it is serviceable. It's not gonna like, you're not gonna gag drinking or nothing like that, right? It's not even close to as bad as Old Tub is. And like if I was a fervent Irish whiskey drinker, this would probably be a contender for my daily because of how cheap it is. Especially if I was like doing like whiskey gingers. Super basic, but there is none of that. There's not the same thing. I mean, the closest thing for Scotch is probably Monkey Shoulder, which I can get for like 26 bucks, but that's not smoky, and it's also it's not as good of a deal dollar for dollar as like the Old Tom is. It's definitely better, but it's twice as much, so it should be better. If Smokey Joe tasted like this, it'd be a home run because it is cheaper than this, but it doesn't. Scarabus wins. Scarabus is the winner of the night. We'll put you out in front, and then put these guys behind you like fallen soldiers because they blew it. Blew it. You blew it. I can actually move these a little bit like that. Boom. Definitive winner. That is going to be my go-to Islay probably for a good long time because I doubt anything even close is going to come out. I did think about picking up a bottle of the McClellan's Islay. I hear that's decent. That's I think a 3-year-old Bamore in that bottle, but the store I went to didn't have it, and I wasn't gonna look for it. It is $26, but at $26, I still hear things like, "Hey, that's good for the price," and I don't know that good for the price at $26 is gonna compete with this. This is genuinely this is smoky to a level that I think might hold up to like an Anoa or an Ardbeg 10. Ugadal would crush it. So would both the Ardbeg and the Black. The Lefroy would destroy it too, for sure. But I think it would hold up. I mean, that's actually... All right, one last thing. I'm curious. The Anoa is an interesting spin. It's about the same price as the 10, and I don't actually know off the top of my head what the difference is production-wise on this, but it's a very similar level of smoke. Like, the intensity of the smoke is very similar, but the Anoa tastes almost a little barbecue saucy. There's a little bit of like a molasses deepness to the flavor. I gotta tell you, the nose is definitely better, but the smoke, just talking smoke, they are in the same wheelhouse. I mean, yeah, obviously the Ardbeg is a better flavor profile in general. It's twice the price though. Should be. But the smoke is similar. The level of smoke is pretty close. This is it's remarkable how smoky that is and how rich that is for the price. This is not gonna stay. This is not gonna stay 30. No, I don't remember. 32, 34. It's not gonna stay $32, $34 for long. I have a feeling this is going to become wildly popular for the price. People will start buying it in mass. It will get hard to find, and then the price will jump to like $45 and no one will buy it anymore, and then it will disappear. That is the trajectory of this, which means I should probably spend the next like year and a half, 2 years until that happens trying to stock up. Before it's gone. Just like Buffalo Trace, right? Buffalo Trace used to be this super gettable, super good, super simple but drinkable whiskey. It was like $26 a bottle. It's a great bourbon. Became popular, and now you can't find it. When you do, it's like $50. Even though MSRP hasn't changed, stores just overcharge for it. That's what happens to all the good ones, you know? The hype train hits and it ruins everything. Damn hype train. I am genuinely surprised at how smoky and complex this is for the price. You know, it does not stand up total package wise to the Ardbeg, but like it's 85% of the way there and 55% of the price. Man. That's I don't know how they're doing that for the price. I have no idea how they are accomplishing that for the price. Well, that's a success. Successful stream. I was hoping to replace this compass box, which, by the way, this is a glorious bottle for the price. This is a compass box. So the only bottle of compass box I've ever had that I thought was a bit of a letdown was this one here, the Sila. And that's really, it's not that it's bad, it's that it is so lightly flavored. I mean, even on the back of this, they say to chill it and drink it like white wine. Right? It's like, it's so light. But other than that, the Spice Tree, the Peat Monster, the Artist Blend, the Glasgow Blend, the Spaniard, what other ones have I had? No Name number 2. Oak Cross. They're all fantastic. Like, really, they're one of the few companies of one of the few blenders, one of the few non-distillery producers, non-distillery bottlers that just home run, home run, home run, home run. I mean, they've got probably 20 or so releases that are like readily available. I shouldn't say that. They've had over time 20 or so releases that were readily available at the time. And I've never had one that wasn't at least good. The Islay is good. It's just not great. It's kind of bland. I never had a bad one. There's not another blender that I can think of that even comes close. Johnny Walker is the biggest blender of any Scotch, right? I think it's mediocre. I've not had the green, which was just re-released, that is supposedly like the smokiest, most intense of the line, but I've had the black, the double black, the platinum, the blue. Johnny Blue is good whiskey that should cost $70 a bottle, but it is $200 plus depending on where you are, and that is ridiculous. It's not worth anywhere near that. I mean, a bottle of Johnny Walker costs more than what I paid for the Octomore, the Johnny Walker Blue, and I would never, no matter my mood, ever choose Johnny Blue over this Octomore, ever. There's no way. That's ridiculous. That's a nobody would. Nobody who, I mean, Johnny Blue is a slightly peated Scotch. Nobody who is into peated Scotch would choose Blue over this. I don't understand. I mean, it's marketing. They're Nike. They're the Nike of blends. Macallan is the Nike of single malts. You pay a premium for the name. You do get a fancy bottle, and you do get to have that, like, I got a bottle of Johnny Blue moment, right? Where you brag to your friends, but well, we've had a success. I have replaced the bottle that I can no longer find with a, I'm gonna say same price-ish, slightly better single malt. Definitely smokier. I'm gonna do an episode on this. And when I do the episode, I'm probably gonna compare it to Peat Monster, which is like my other pretty smoky go-to. It's just more expensive. That's also a compass box. So I'm gonna do that on that. When I do the episode for this, I'll probably compare it to Peat Monster. But it's a success. I found a cheap Islay single malt that I can drink straight or dump in a Coke. You know what? Unscientific analysis. See, I don't mind pouring a bunch of this that I'm not gonna drink because it's cheap. It's super cheap. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the smoky cokey and see what it's like. Pop. Does it make a proper smoky cokey? Smells like it. That is 95% of the way to a Peat Monster Smoky Cokey for half the price. So yeah, we found our budget Islay. We found it. I'm pumped. For those of you, I mean, I don't know if any of you in chat have gone down. I mean, how many of you in chat who feel like chiming in have gone down the Smokey Scotch route? Any of you? I don't know. I know Cat tends to lean into like the flavored stuff a little bit. I know Mom doesn't drink. Brittany says no. What I would say for any of you who feel adventurous, if this is available, start here. Try this. This is available in your area, start here. Try this. I mean, next time you feel like, hey, I'm gonna buy a bottle to try this. If you're not feeling this is pretty smoky. If you want to try milder, see if you can get this. This is the Great King Street. Oh, I put my face in the frame. Bad idea. This is probably easier for a starter. The smoke is lighter. It's sweeter. It's a little fruitier. It's a little more approachable, I would say. This is smoky. This is pretty damn smoky. But I would say I really would love. I mean, I would love to have all of you here, sitting across from me, one-on-one, to go through this. Mom says she'll try a sip when she comes and sees me again. I'll pour a light tasting, very light for you, Mom, across the board, and you can see what you like. I have all of it, so I'd love to have all of you one-on-one. Kat, when you make your liquor run, feel free to message me, and whatever they have in the Islay thing, I'll help. If they don't have this or this, I'll help you find something that'll be a good intro for you. I'd love to have all of you here one-on-one and be able to bring you through the whole tasting and like really help you find your way, because I'm pretty sure everybody, I shouldn't say that, I feel like way more people, how do I want to phrase this without sounding super full of myself or biased? I think way more people would be really happy with a smoky whiskey than realize it. They just have to go through the experience. And when I say that, like my buddy Josh, I told him to buy a bottle of Peat Monster, and he bought it. And the first day after he bought it, he came in to work. It said, "Man, I had some of that Peat Monster. That shit's intense, dude. What'd you do to me? Why did you have me buy that shit, right?" And then I was like, "Listen, it's gonna be intense at first. Give it a couple of days, see how you feel afterwards. If you hate it, I'll buy the rest of the bottle off you." Put my money where my mouth is. I was confident. Like a week later, dude comes into work. "Man, that Peat Monster is good, dude. I almost finished that bottle. I'm gonna have to buy more." It does not, like, there's a brief period of acclimation to it, but I feel like as soon as you get through that, like, it's a campfire moment, everyone loves it. I've not had somebody yet, like, even when I had Greg in here last week and he was turned his nose up at bourbons and he was turned his nose up at everything. I made him a little smoky cokey with Peat Monster, and he was like, "Man, that is actually really good." and I think I found my way in. He's gonna get there on that. I am confident 3-4 months from now, Greg's gonna be drinking Peat Monster or some other smoky. Oh, that's really good. Or some other smoky whiskey. It is not for everyone. Not everyone is gonna like. Listen, not everyone, no matter how hard you try, not everyone's gonna like whiskey, period. It's just not for some people. It's not for everybody. But I think there's a way higher percentage that's gonna be feeling it with the smoky stuff than realizes it until you get them there. A lot of people will say, hey, I don't like smoky whiskey, but then they'll drink Johnny Black. And Johnny Black is lightly peated. So if they like Johnny Black, they're just a couple of steps away from loving an Ardbeg. It's just a matter of like developing palate. So most people will get there. As always, before we end it tonight, we have a 2-person discrepancy between current viewers and likes. And you all know I drink this nasty shit when the likes match the views. So if the final, now we have a 1-person discrepancy. If the final viewer who has not liked the video yet likes it, I will have to stomach some Old Tub. And I might do it just because I'm nice anyway, since we got 1 person away. It's very close. Although I don't know if I should be that generous. Old Tub is pretty damn gross. We'll show the bottle for good measure here. It is actually even called Old Tub. Now the thing with Old Tub, some people do like this. It's not like some weird liquor or anything like that. Like I know there's a couple of YouTube channels that use like real shitty liqueurs or like Malort or something as a punishment. Does it? Mine shows 3 likes. Hold on. Let's go to the I'm double checking. YouTube Studio, by the way, the software for streaming on YouTube is terrible. It's laggy and delayed and like, so on this display I have here where it tells me like my stream of current viewers, total viewers throughout the whole stream, play time, stream time. I have stream time in the bottom here, and then I have stream time in the top left. And in the bottom it says stream time, 35 minutes. And in the top left it says stream time, 1 hour and 33 minutes. It's the same software. Why can't it decide? It's the same display. It's in browser, but why can't they? Man, I would love to have a conversation with whoever designed this thing. On my phone it does say 4 and 4, so I will do an Old Tub bottle rip. Although, right now on YouTube Studio, it says 11 and 3. That's what it says right now on YouTube Studio. It says 11 concurrent viewers and 3 likes. That's what YouTube Studio says at this moment. It says 11 concurrent viewers, 47 total throughout the stream, and 3 likes. That's what it says. That's probably all bullshit. They're just making shit up. God. The problem, I don't know how many of you have ever experienced this. This is the problem I have with this whiskey. Because it's not that it's gross whiskey, it's that it is gross to me. I don't know how many of you had this, but if you ever have a sense memory where something that may or may not be disgusting reminds you of something you truly hate? You get a whiff of something, like you're walking down the street, you smell something, and it just brings you back to a memory. I mean, most whiskey does that for me. It gives me a memory. I like auto-associate whiskeys with memories or experiences, or, I mean, they're so dense on the nose. I mean, I have a couple of whiskeys here that remind me of, actually, I have a bottle of bourbon over there that I'm not gonna name because I have an episode coming out or not recorded but planned, and I want to save all this for when that episode comes out. But I have whiskey over there, a bourbon, that reminds me so much of Grandma's apple pie. It's just so densely apple and cinnamon that it's the first thing I think of every time. I just immediately go there. The Ardbeg 10 episode, when that was my very first episode of the show, by the way, and that is the whiskey that got me into whiskey, and that reminds me of the first time I smoked a brisket with my friends. I bought this like $5 smoker at a tag sale, and we smoked this brisket, and it was a disaster. The brisket didn't fit in the smoker. It was a mess. But the brisket came out okay. It came out good. We ate it and enjoyed it. And every time I have Ardbeg 10, I immediately go back there. This bottle of whiskey, it reminds me of being ill and drinking cherry NyQuil. And like something, I'd hate cherry NyQuil, and between that and being reminded of being sick, it's a borderline horrifying experience for me. But here I am, bottle chugging or bottle ripping old tub for you, the viewer. Ugh. It's because, Mom, the average viewer enjoys seeing the average streamer suffer. So, it sends like aftershocks through me. So, yeah, exactly. Randy's got it. Pain equals views. The more I suffer on stream, the more people will watch. So this $17 bottle that I can't stand, it's actually still fucking with me, gets me likes every episode, every stream it gets me likes, and no one would care if Oh man. Uh, uh, it gives me like waves of aftershocks. Uh, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Randy. Um, no one would be like jumping to hit the like button for me to like drink my favorite whiskey, right? Like oh, he's gonna really smile when he drinks that bottle. um, uh, but people are super excited to watch me suffer. That's how it works. Oh man. It's the worst part about that whiskey is that not only is it gross, but it is clingy. It's oily and clingy in a way where like even I drank some of it. I'm gonna try the Coke. It doesn't get rid of the flavor. That like medicinal cherry, artificial sweet. Like you when I say that medicinal cherry, you all know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I also don't like Devil's Cut. Devil's Cut to me is it's like overly oaked and tannic. I don't like it. It's not good. What's fucked up is that even with the Coke, I can still that cherry cough syrup clinginess, that's what Old Tub is like to me. It's like cherry cough syrup with cinnamon and like super heavy cherry cough syrup with like a dash of cinnamon and a little bit of peanut shell. Like salted peanut shell. Quick question for chat. Does anybody here eat a salted peanut when they're like in the shells? Shell and all. Does anybody put the whole salted shell in their mouth and eat the peanut? Or am I the only monster? Because I definitely eat the shells with the peanuts when they're salted shells. I got a feeling I'm the only monster. You should all try it. I mean, I'm gonna make you try Old Tub, Mom. They salt the shells for a reason. When you buy a bag of salted peanuts with the shells still on, if you crack the shells and eat the peanut, what was the point of them salting the shells? The peanut doesn't get any of that salt. They salt the shells because they're edible. All of the vitamins and minerals in peanuts is in the shell. The nut itself is just fat. It's bad. It's actually not good for you by itself. You should be, it's fibrous, it's got vitamin A, it's got niacin and zinc. You should be eating the shell. That's where all the nutrients are. Just saying. I take an educated approach to my peanuts. And I also drink Old Tub. So it occurs to me, since I label these episode 00 and the number, until I get to 10, then it will be single O than the number. But right now we are on 007. And I'm sure all of you know, and we're doing Islay Scotch. So I'm sure all of you know 007 is the one and only James Bond, correct? And the finest James Bond is Sir Sean Connery. And if you don't agree with that, I don't need your opinion. And Sean Connery's, well, his favorite bourbon was Jim Beam, supposedly. I don't have any of that because I don't like it. But his favorite Scotch, as he was a Scotsman, was Lafroig. I'm going to have a Sean Connery. A little Sean Connery Lafroig. Because we're doing Islay, 007. Lafroig is Islay. We're going to do a little commemorative. I'm even going to put it on bottle cam. Lafroig 10, cask strength. Gonna have a little Sean Connery nip here. I poured more than a little because I was paying more attention to my talk than to my pour. That's fine though. I have a dump glass. And then we're gonna call it after that. So now Lafroig is a very different lane of smoke from what we've done so far. I mean, the Octomore was like almost a blue cheese. Ardbeg, smoked meats. The Compass Box was ashy, a little proteiny, but mostly ashy. The Scarabus was a little blue cheesy. I mean, these were all kind of in these different lanes. Lafroig is the most medicinal. When I say medicinal smoke, I mean it's dense smoke and then it is briny and iodine and rubber. Lots of iodine for me. It is it's my least favorite lane for smoke from Islay. But I love all the Islays, so that is not a bad thing still. Like, my least favorite lane, that's like your least favorite pizza. Like, fucking all pizza is good. It's still delicious. It's just not your favorite. And I can finally no longer taste the old tub. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I was trying to hunt for it, but it's gone. Thank God. That old tub is really a fucking catastrophe for whiskey. I think that's enough whiskey for one man for one night. I think. Probably. I thank everybody for coming out. Really appreciate it. Randy, it was great to see you in the chat. I appreciate all of your support. I am bound by moral code to thank all of the patrons who support me over at patreon.com/barrelhouse. Like the intro says, without all of you guys, it would not be possible to do this show. I would not be able to house 100 bottles plus of whiskey, or not be able to afford the gear, or do all these things, host the show, have a new website. All this stuff costs money in little increments, and without the patrons, it would not be possible. So I have to thank all of you very much for allowing me to move closer and closer towards the show I really want to make. and it means a ton. And the fact that there are so many of you who are willing to give me money to do this is truly humbling. So thank you very much. As always, barrelhousepodcast.com, that will get you, ooh, excuse me, man, too much whiskey. barrelhousepodcast.com will get you to all of the things I do. Thefilmappraisers.com will get you to the film appraisers we just released yesterday to the general public. An episode on the 1962, I believe is the right year, version, the Sinatra version of Manchurian Candidate, the original. And that was really fun to pick on Frank Sinatra's acting. I enjoyed that. So find that at filmappraisers.com, barrelhousepodcast.com, and as always, if you're not already there, hit the Discord, talk with me, all the other Earglue Media hosts directly, and also the listeners. You can find yourself in a conversation with the one and only Vader's girl here, Kat, there also, as well as a bunch of other people who are all amazing at eargluemedia.com/Discord. So hit all that up. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great night. It was fantastic seeing you all. Take care.